have the ability to show that Burisma is corrupt. We have the ability to show that Hunter Biden is corrupt. And
these allegations are true and accurate. The Justice Department and FBI are and have been institutionally corrupted to their very core.
Elon wants to unlock the potential of Twitter as a place where information meritocracy can thrive.
Joe Biden has said categorically we are not going to defund the police.
I don't know that Joe Biden could remember that from one day to the next. Yeah, and I would leave the smarty boy comments to those of us who win our elections.
Thank you. You know, Twitter tried to silence me. The lobbyists and the PACs tried to defeat me. The deep state tried to destroy me. The media tried to spear me. And my own leadership sometimes would banish me to the darkest recesses of the Capitol if they could. Because I work for you, not them. Wouldn't have it any other way. These midterms did disappoint many of us, but in a lot of ways, I don't blame the Democrats. They did everything they could possibly do to hand us this election. They crashed the economy, attacked American energy. They were doing this weird, woke stuff that is unmentionable in polite company. We have no border at all. Indeed, the Democrats did their part, but I believe we deserved far better from Republicans, and I am here tonight to talk about how to fix it. Some say we should moderate, paint in those pastel colors, put the bold away, embrace the meek, less America first, more Liz Cheney. Maybe shake the Bush family tree and see what falls out. My friends, the problem with slow surrender as a political strategy is that even when you win with these establishment shills, America still loses. Was it really worth standing with Republican governors in Maryland, Ohio, and Arizona who got elected preaching freedom and then pushed lockdowns and mandates on their people? How foolish were they? How foolish were we to tolerate it? In Florida, if you're still wearing a mask, we just assume you're hideous. But on the big stuff, the major challenges that we now face, a Republican Party with no sharp edges will be manipulated, co-opted, and worthless. Controlled opposition just isn't going to cut it anymore, and that's where I come in. Just look at what we learned this week. The FBI has entire teams of people dedicated to try to shape public opinion on social media. And we know about it at Twitter because Elon bought Twitter. But this same stuff is going on at Meta, at Google, at Amazon. They want to control what you see so that they can ultimately control how you behave. This is not the proper role of government, and any official who gave the orders to try to manipulate the political perspectives of American citizens will be called to heel before the House Judiciary Committee in the coming weeks and months. I don't plan on a whole lot of softball questions and patty cake games with the corrupt deep state. Relentless interrogation is what they deserve, and we should stand for no less. So it is not our fighting spirit that needs to change. It is not the America First message or policy platform that needs to change. But some of our tactics must. Ask any business owner you know, what's the bad day during the week for revenue? There are none. It is always good to get revenue. And similarly, for our candidates for office that we love and believe in, there is no bad day to go get somebody's vote and to count that vote early, in person, with an ID, because it is basic game theory. You have got to bank the points early. And when we tell voters that they should only vote on one day out of a large opportunity of voting days, then we leave ourselves vulnerable to manipulation and attack and voter suppression. Why would we do that? The cause is too important and the stakes are too high. America first means actually putting the American voters first. And our evolving tactics must draw us into central focus on necessary changes to election laws. To those of you from Maricopa County, you don't have to live this way. Arizona is a great state full of wonderful people, but the election administration here, woof, it is embarrassing. Brazil is a country with 214 million people. Many of them live in the jungles of the Amazon in Brazil. And they know who wins an election the next day. Sometimes a single county in Arizona can take weeks. This is the United States of America. We are not a third world country. It is time we start acting like the vibrant republic that we are, and that means securing the integrity of our elections. This can be done. I know that it does not have to be this way because it has never been this way. We used to get election results on time. We didn't have these problems. Some of you may be old enough to remember back in 2000 when Florida was in the spotlight over the Bush v. Gore matter. We had the hanging Chads and the dimpled Chads. And what is astonishing to me reflecting back on that is that it was actually embarrassing and an oddity to not be able to quickly and precisely resolve your elections within approximate time of the people voting. And now you look at these elections and you see like Jake Tapper on CNN saying, well, we won't know Pennsylvania for weeks. And I'm thinking, why is this? Well, in Florida, we changed the laws. And so if you are a state lawmaker, if you have influence with our several states, let's talk about some of the specific changes that I think will help us combat this challenge going forward. Florida, indeed, can be the nation's guidepost on this. In Florida, we passed legislation that allows counties to start counting mail-in ballots 22 days before the election. Now think about how significant that is. That means in smaller batches, we can actually look at the votes, we can compare the signatures, and you don't end up with some crazy circumstance in Wayne County, Michigan, where somehow only in the urban areas they have laws and chain of custody that only applies to them and not anyone else. And it's the same story in Fulton County and in the just absolute pit holes of election failure that we should not have to tolerate in America. In Florida, state law also requires that early voting ballots be completed and counted before Election Day. And then the results are immediately posted within 30 minutes of the election. So there's not this like crazy guessing game about finding out whose Aunt Irma works at the elections office and where they might have like another bucket of 200 ballots. Mail-in ballots have to be received by 7 p.m. on Election Day. I can't even believe that's controversial. We don't just mail them out either to every dead guy on the voter rolls. In Florida, you have to actually have a real human being that really requests one of these ballots. We use paper ballots in Florida. Imagine that. And we do so because it was one of the demands of Florida Democrats. Our machines are rigorously tested so we don't end up like Maricopa County, where voting machines are breaking down more than the ice cream machine at the McDonald's. The other benefit of having like sane, real people election laws is that if things go crazy and lawsuits start filing, we might actually win some of them. I know of what I speak. In 2018, there was a serious effort to steal the election in Florida from Senator Rick Scott and Governor Ron DeSantis. It was tens of thousands of ballots in a universe of more than 8.5 million. And when the local supervisors of elections did not follow the law, we were able to go immediately to court against 2 supervisors, have the judges issue injunctions, and then there were no mystery ballots that could be willed into existence at some later time. We treat ballots and voting like public records, and our citizens have a constitutional right to know what the hell is going on. That should be the standard for America. So our laws and our tactics must change. But some of our leaders must be changed too. Our ancestors, out of love of country, pledged their lives and their fortunes and their sacred honor. Is the best Congress can really do today pledging a vote for Mitch McConnell or Kevin McCarthy? I've had enough McFailure. In football, when the team doesn't win the games it's supposed to win, they fire the coach. In business, when the company does not match its projected earnings, then the board gets rid of the CEO. And so in Republican politics, maybe I'm not the crazy one if I say that the people who vastly underperformed expectations shouldn't be promoted to third in line to the presidency. My friends, I take no joy in sharing this with you, but I'm going to tell you now what every single Republican member of Congress knows in their heart, whether they'll admit it or not. Kevin McCarthy believes in nothing. I'm serious about that. Nothing except money and power, but he failed to deliver the power as promised. And he got plenty of money, some of it from Sam Bankman-Fried. But he believes in nothing, and if we vote for him, neither do we. Peter Thiel called these midterm elections depressingly disastrous. But they are revealing, because we saw failure up close. And as Tucker Carlson reminded us at the beginning of this conference, we must learn from this experience and grow and be better. Kevin McCarthy calls his lobbyist-written platform the commitment to America. But Kevin doesn't keep his commitments. Not to the Republican conference, not to anyone but the lobbyists that fund campaigns. Kevin isn't committed. He is compromised by the corrupt swamp. And he's incoherent. When you believe in nothing, my friends, you will settle on everything. You'll farm out the work, enrich your pals, and maybe they'll even let you crash their pad. But I think Joe Biden might actually be right about one thing. We are in a battle for the soul of our country. And Kevin is going into that battle with soulless influence peddlers by his side. He isn't on this stage today because I am pretty confident he would get booed off of it. I would be a great leader, I just have no followers. So, you say what you will about Trump, but he actually believed in stuff, making our country better. His beliefs were so bold that the media could not stop obsessing about them or him or all of us who supported him. Trump's policies were so good, Joe Biden's even trying to copy him right now. Banning TikTok was initially a Trump initiative. Domesticating manufacturing was an issue set that Trump talked about way before anyone else in American politics had any type of vision for it. And the Joe Biden streamlining permitting bill is essentially an extension of the regulatory reform instituted by President Trump. These are indeed Trump's initiatives, and now I fear, my friends, we are in need of true vision. Our politics cannot just be money running through lobbyist luncheons and sloganeering with focus groups. Biden is 80 and totally senile. So you tell me, why is he kicking our ass on this omnibus spending bill right now? It's because Kevin McCarthy believes in nothing. Here's what I believe. I believe we should put budgets on the floor of the House that balance, and then we should vote for them. I believe we should have immigration laws that we're serious about and actually enforce. And when people break those laws, they should actually be deported where they came from, not be allowed to stick around our country by the millions, starting the new wave of chain migration. I believe we ought to have a full court press against this weaponized government that has been turned against our people. And if that means abolishing every one of these three-letter agencies, from the FBI to the ATF, I'm ready to get going, and I got my pencil. I believe that we actually ought to make voting easy and cheating hard, and I believe we should not sell out to powerful corporations that pollute our water, our skies, or the digital marketplace of ideas. I'm grateful for your response, but I will admit, I am the most imperfect of vessels to be carrying this message. Many of you prayed for me and hoped for me, and I want you to know how much that means to me. Your faith in me, I truly hope to justify each and every day with service to you and you alone. President Trump proved that even those of us who have flaws can fight back against a corrupt system without fear. And so I will work with anyone and everyone to change this system and to deliver results for our brave patriots, to stop the invasion on our southern border, to end wars that drain our nation of its treasure and its bravest patriots, to stop sending money to Ukraine like somehow that's a bigger priority than what's happening to our people, and certainly to restrict unfair trade. But we should not move forward beholden to the legislative policy written by Frank Luntz on a bar napkin. We should not be beholden to the free speech policy that was passed to Kevin McCarthy in exchange for money from his best friend Pfizer lobbyist. And we should not be beholden to the political philosophy of Kevin McCarthy at all, because Kevin McCarthy believes in nothing. I believe in things, and I know you do too. We've got a country to save. You can fight with me any day of the week, Turning Point. Let's go get them.